We are starting over here at the garden today. Sun's barely up over the mountain. It's like 8 o'clock. It's time for that daylight savings to kick in again. And all of the vines, we're gonna get rid of the zucchini plants and the squashes. They're all looking kind of sad. There's a couple pumpkins over here that are doing okay. We may leave them for a little bit. This is like a watermelon that thinks it's a pumpkin. So we got to get a few things out. The sunflowers, at least from here over, were planted earlier and they need to come out. These ones are probably still okay down here, but it's starting to get real cool in the morning and some of the viney plants are dying. So we're just going to pull them and get rid of them, because the longer you leave them, the more issues you're going to have with squash bugs in the spring. All right, I'm back here in the corn and this bad boy is looking pretty ready. Let's see if worms got all on the top of it. Oh no, that's good to go. So tons of cherry tomatoes again, and they're all just like, the plants used to be like real big and perky, and now they're weighed down so much. We got to get them before the bugs get them.
Yeah, we haven't had a problem with bugs, but I gave a whole bat, like half of one of these away to the neighbors, and that was Saturday.
Yeah.
And there wasn't another ripe tomato on the plant Saturday. I got them all, even some that weren't super ripe. And now we've got that many, if not more.
And I pulled 7 stalks of corn. There's some more ripe back there, but I'm not going to get it tonight. We'll go home and roast this. We'll put it on the grill. I'm pretty excited about this corn. I've grown a lot of corn over the years with my parents and, you know, just gardening in general. And this is looking really tasty and sweet. Gonna make a little dinner. Got the chicken and the corn going. All right, so this is what we're looking at here with these sunflowers. They're really starting to turn and go. Most of them have lost their petals, and my neighbor is concerned that they're all just gonna drop all their seeds in her gravel. So we're gonna be good neighbors and get these out. We're gonna save all the sunflower heads and the blossoms, whatever you call these. I don't know all the technical terms for all this, but there's good seeds down in here. These ones are kind of small to be eating, but we're gonna reseed a lot of these out on specific places on our property. So we don't really have a mulch pile, we have a chicken pile. They will go through this and take care of all of the greenery and eventually break it all the way down. And we're gonna do cut flowers right here in this area. So I'm gonna put all the stuff right here so that they just knock it down. I might have to come get some tree limbs out of here and rake it in the spring, but should be good. Let's see if Buttercup likes sunflowers. Let's go see. Oh, she's interested. What do you think? What do you think of this, girl? Huh? Is that the good stuff? You like that? All right, you stay out of the chicken pen.
She wants a cucumber. She ate them last time.
All right, how about the cucumber? No? Thinking about it?
She's got weird pregnancy cravings.
All right.
She wants a sunflower.
I'll just leave it here and we'll see what you eat and what you don't eat. Everything else will go to the chickens. I'm gonna vote that that's a yes. What do you think, girl? What do you think of that? I'm gonna guess that you get all the sunflower stalks and then we'll give the chickens something else.
Did you look it up to make sure she can eat those?
There's a big old corn thief over here in my corn patch. He's picking all the corn for me. Were those hiding deep down inside?
Yeah, they need to be eaten pretty quick. This one's squishy.
All right. Look, there's another one right in here. Oh yeah, these are ready. That's perfect. Look at that, didn't even split. So Ty, let's just take it all off and I'll get these stalks and we'll feed them to Buttercup because she will love them. We decided to leave the cucumbers because a lot of them are getting blossoms again. So we're just gonna leave these in for a little while longer. There was a ton of cucumbers hiding out in here. Pulled up all the old lettuce that was going to seed and gave that to the chickens and Buttercup. But so maybe another few cucumbers out of this. We'll see if they make it. It's gonna be 45 on Saturday, which is a couple days from now. So the garden wasn't as pretty as it has been like a month ago, but now's the time when all the goodness comes. You're killing me, Smalls.
What?
They're so much easier to grab in nice, neat rows. So this corn here is 2 packs of our Bentley seeds that we have. And so basically about $5 worth of seed and the time to plant them. And here we have all this corn. And they're heirloom, aren't they? I'd have to check. I can't remember if the...
One of them is heirloom, the other one's open pollinated.
Yeah, I think one's open pollinated and one's heirloom. So we're not to the point where we're like, we gotta save seeds, but I love the flavor of the heirloom produce. So we are back on another adventure, going to look for more property. And this is headed towards Price. This is on Highway 6 up in this mountain range. It's a little bit south of where we were looking last week. So we'll see if it works out. This property is supposed to have water on it, but it said it wasn't hooked up. So I gotta go check it out and see what's going on.
This area is pretty inexpensive. It was a burn area. You can kind of see some of the grayed out trees, especially as we come around this corner. But there's regrowth that's happened since then, and there are people, like there's like real houses here. So people are living out here, not just 3 seasons. And we're interested because supposedly they're supposed to be getting water out to this particular piece of property that we're looking at. So water is always important, especially when you're out west. And they do have some gorgeous fall color coming in, so that's...
Well, when we turn around here in a second, the view that way behind us is amazing. This might be the guy digging the water line in.
So thank goodness we brought the Land Rover and not Zep's truck. Not that it couldn't handle it, but it would have beat us up because we are like rock crawling to this next property. And the Land Rover handles dirt roads pretty good, and this is still kind of a situation.
It's just been washed out a little this year.
I mean, but look, we're way up there.
We're going up the mountain. I don't know. We'll see what this property looks like. This has been a fun road.
Where have you taken me to is what I want to know. So definitely this is a burnt out area, but you can see that the views are really pretty over here.
Yeah, we popped over that rugged hill and we got this pretty valley with like a ranch down here.
A few ranches.
Okay, so it is burned out. That's why the price is cheap. But you clear these trees and these oaks are already starting to come back in. You can see them growing and they get tall. They're not huge oaks like back east or up north, but they're coming and they're not all gone. Like some of these piñons, they're still going good. And then we got this view of this little valley here. Jamie was like, if this is it, sign me up. The grass is growing pretty tall through here because this whole little bowl probably collects all the water and just runs all the snow melt down through here. And you don't think it's a lot, but it's probably thousands of gallons of water coming down through here every spring. I'm coming! Ooh. This is that same piece of property just over to the corner. This is what it looks like when it's not burnt out. This section, the fire missed and just burned through. And some of these trees are dead in here, but that's just because it hasn't been managed. All right, we've got pickle prep going on. Jamie's got this new pickle jar that we now carry at jamierayvintage.com.
I'm kind of sad I didn't order more because I'm like, oh, I want to do them all in these except for, then I can't take every single one. So I just took one home to test it out, and it has a handle.
I'm pretty excited about the handle.
Like, so cute.
Brian's going in the background. We've got the recipe on the last vlog or whatever that we did pickles in. I can't even remember.
People are gonna ask, so you have to...
All right, so the recipe I was telling you for the brine earlier was for our beet brine recipe that we did that we canned. Now, I've got the link down below. I'm not gonna try to mess that up. Just go find the link in the description. That's the right link for the pickle brine that we're using in these for refrigerator pickles, and it's delicious. They're amazing. All right, brine is boiling. Turn it off. Let it cool to room temperature. You do not want to put hot brine that's boiling on your refrigerator pickles. It'll make them all mushy. Over here in the sink, I am washing my papples. I'm getting ready to slice and core them. Most of them that I can see are like bug and worm free. So I'm just gonna slice and core them with a regular core, and we're gonna freeze dry these. All right, easy as that. And I think I'm just gonna put these on right on the tray. We're gonna hurry. This might take a minute to freeze dry, but it'll get all that moisture out of there, I think. So I had to amend my ways and slice these. You want them to be about a 1/4 inch thick. Otherwise, they're not going to freeze dry and they won't ever get crispy. They'll just be like chewy all the time. And that's not what you want. In other canning news, more figs.
Not canning.
Preserving. Okay.
Well, I guess I can it. I can.
So we got a couple strawberries that Jack grew. I'm going to throw those in. There's only like 3 or 4. They probably won't really change the difference of the flavor because the figs are pretty powerful. They're potent.
It'll make Jack special that this is his strawberry jam because there's really not enough to do.
So how many jars of jam do you think we've got besides the one we've just eaten from the figs?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, how many jars have you done?
This is my 3rd pint of fig jam.
That's pretty good since we just planted that this spring and it's already producing. Yeah, we probably ate a pint's worth of jam just eating them.
Yeah, and then I made 3. I keep thinking they're done, and then there's like more on the tree, and there's actually more on the tree. Like, I could do another pint if they.
Yeah, they'll probably be all right because until it freezes, they're gonna keep producing. Yeah. But you know, pretty simple, easy. I know it's a small batch. Some people don't like to bother unless they're gonna do like 20 quarts of something. But this is what we have time to do in the evenings after our day is winding down and we're done running kids around to sports and all the things they do. So it works well for us to just do a little at a time.
Yeah, we're in the kitchen anyways right now doing a bunch of other canning, so it's easy to just do one little pint of jam. So Zeb is outside shucking corn. A lot we are going to freeze dry. We'll probably actually just put them in the freezer and freeze dry as the freeze dryer is free. And then we'll save some to eat. Can we freeze the corn in whole cobs and cook that, steam it later? Does that work?
You can just freeze it if you want. I'm gonna probably cut most of this off for the freeze dryer.
Yeah, and frozen corn, just frozen, is good too. So he's got his work cut out for him. I'm gonna go inside and work on some pickles, tomatoes, and jam.
You know what I think would be really good if we did some what's that called? Like that Mexican corn.
Oh yeah. Mexican street corn. But usually you do that, you grill it. So maybe save some for that.
I'm gonna see if Buttercup will eat all of these husks. She may not. If she doesn't, I'm going to just till them into the ground and they'll become fertilizer over the next 6 months.
Yeah. Let it compost naturally.
Yep.
So I had to share this very satisfying moment with you. Zeb made the brine, guesstimating how much you would need. And it was the exact amount that we needed for this 3 liters and 1 gallon of pickles.
You want to make homemade popcorn, huh?
Yes.
I don't think this is the right kind of corn. It takes a special poppy corn.
We need popcorn to make popcorn.
I mean, I've never tried it actually. We might need to do an experiment and see. Hey, you don't need to break that much off.
No, look how white that is.
That's okay. I'm going to cut that off. Eat that right now.
This?
No, just eat it. It's super delicious. You don't got to cook it to eat it. Just do it. It's really sweet and tasty. You don't like it, huh? So amidst the canning, we got this dough that's getting kind of sour, so we're going to go ahead and use it for pizza dough. So we've got some tomatoes here. It's going to be kind of like a margarita type pizza, I think is what Jamie calls it. But I just want to show you guys these tomatoes, these beefsteaks that we got. Look how much meat is in there. I mean, it's still got some juice and some seeds because every tomato is going to, but so good, and they're very tasty. Let's watch that bubble up in real time. I like to give it a little spin. It is currently very hot, 900 degrees, I think.
You haven't found any cherry tomatoes, have you?
No. It's gonna be a lot of corn to freeze dry.
I know it is. We're freeze drying corn?
Yeah.
Ooh. Probably also gonna cook some.
Jamie and Eliza could not stand looking at the watermelons anymore. They're like, I wonder if those are as good as the cantaloupes have been since they grew next to each other. So I'm over here like,
You're buttery, you're close.
There's gonna be corn. It's gonna be corner melon.
I'm over here processing the corn and we're gonna do this.
Oh, that was good.
It's probably super tasty.
Oh, it doesn't
seeds.
look- it
I
doesn't
thought
look
this was
super-
supposed to be seedless.
I don't know. It doesn't look super red.
Yes, it does.
I bet you that's deliciously sweet. You know how I can tell?
Why?
It's getting orangey around the rind.
There's actually not a lot of rind on that. I'm kind of sad that there's seeds. That's a lot of work. I love that I'm filming this and there's like the drawers open over there.
What?
I know.
How dare you?
Now people know how we really live.
All right, was it ripe or no?
It's not the sweetest I've ever had. Pretty good. It's good, but not the best.
I think you're just grumpy about the seeds.
No, it's not as sweet. Like the
I think these are probably heirlooms since they're not seedless.
got lots.
Keep those seeds. So she seems pretty excited about this. So we're just gonna leave her here with the wagon and let her do some good work on that. Is it the good stuff, huh? Yes. I'm gonna get you some hay too, just in case. Just in case that doesn't fill you up. Look at this, look what I found. It's a whole kernel. No? Oh, get it. Show who's boss. Oh, there's a whole ear we missed. Lucky for you.
So this yellow squash was dead. You can see, look at these plants over here, like dead, dead, dead. And it is like coming back from the dead, putting on flowers, growing squash. Like squash is one of the most resilient plants. You can see all the new growth in here. We didn't even cut off the dead stuff really.
No, we just let it go because we're like, it's end of season. We're not going to mess with it.
We're tired of squash, but it will not die easily in the night. I think it has more on it than it did before.
this is the flooring we decided we wanted to go with. It's got a little bit of a texture. We picked it up super cheap. It was on sale at Costco. But I think it'll go really nicely in here. So this is actually the ceiling in our pantry, and we're going to do a similar effect to this in the cottage. It is just the beams are up above, and then we've got board up on top, and then that's where the insulation goes on above that. So we're going to work on getting all the vents and everything out and knock this ceiling down. This is like a little extra project we're doing on the side, but I think it'll have a fairly big impact to how this looks as far as the cottage goes. So I decided to just go up in the attic and start kicking it down, which has worked pretty well. But someone fancied themselves an artist. I came back from knocking the ceiling down, and Jamie's got a whole salsa situation happening here.
I'm just making green sauce. A lot of people tell me they don't know what to do with tomatillos. Tomatillos are like in the tomato family, but you don't really eat them like tomatoes. You just husk them, and I'll roast them and blend them up, and then just make a green sauce for salsa verde or for enchilada sauce or whatever.
They're delicious, but they have kind of a bitter taste to them. I feel like they need to be mixed with other things.
I do lime, cilantro, which this is kind of gone to coriander, but it'll work. Peppers, onions, and I just roast all the things that need to be roasted and then blend it all together and salt and pepper to taste.
So this is a little bit more than a roast. We put them in the cast iron in the oven and forgot about them, and basically we're making like a stew. Look at all those juices in there.
Tomatillo stew, it's fine, it'll be great.
We didn't put any water in this. This is just all liquid from the tomatillos.
And the onions. The cast iron did a good job. It kept all the liquid in there. So we'll just put this all in here, and then I'll add lime juice, salt and pepper to taste, and can it. And that's it.
Filling the jars up.
We'll have just about...
Just a quick little 4 pints, 3.5.
Well, I'm gonna
You're gonna cheat a little?
I'm gonna even it out a little, and then I'll have to wipe the top of the jar. I figure it just got some on me.
Just don't splash it in your eye.
That's a little spicy.
In between gardening, canning sessions, and demolition over in the cottage, which, you know, I thought I was done with demo, but we're not. We ran up to our property that we've got. We got 40 acres, about half an hour outside of town, and went for a little drive. I'm going to throw some seed around and have a little fun while we're out there. I've just got some contractor's mix. It's got a bunch of different stuff in it. And I'm just going to throw this out. We're starting to get close, probably in the next... probably 2-3 weeks we'll be into freezing, so I don't think this will germinate before then. All the grasses here are starting to die off, and hopefully in the spring this will pop up. The animals can spread it all over the place and do what they will with it, and hopefully some gets in the cracks and sticks. But this is a little rocky, but it's like undisturbed unless just from us walking around on it. And like all these kind of little flat areas and little hills and clearings, I'm gonna throw this grass out until I can get out here and limb and clear some of these junipers out. Jack, do you think we should make some juniper berry soap?
Yeah.
We have the stuff to make the soap at home. These little needles and the berries could be quite fragrant in a soap, I think. Very musky, right?
I love the smell.
I know. Look at what we found out in the desert here. Love a good tarantula.
I want to keep him, Dad.
You want to keep him?
Yeah, tarantulas are quite friendly.
So if you hold him flat, you can hold him flat. No, we're going to leave him alone. He doesn't want it. Well, it's got me breathing heavy, but first time up in the southwest corner of the property, and it's kind of like the northeast corner of the property. Fairly level, not super steep grade, and spectacular views of the Wasatch Front. We're higher elevation than the other side, probably about 50 or 60 feet higher. So, frozen mozzarella cheese. This is last of the cheese that I made when Buttercup was still in milk.
Yeah, probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And I was like, I'll just cut it and put it in the food processor.
It's like frozen like a rock.
The best knife that we own. It's probably dull now. And then I tried my electric knife and I was like, this is not cutting. So then I tried banging it on the counter to see if it would cut because I already kind of cut through it. And that didn't work. And so Zeb has decided to just use the grater.
Yeah, this is what I intended all along. You can grate frozen cheese, but you got to use like a conventional grater.
I feel like that's a Zeb job. I'll cut the tomatoes.
You know, these are thin enough. We could probably just put them in here. Let's try it. This has too many safety devices to keep you from doing things like that. So this is working just fine.
I have a Zeb processor.
Is it like a Xenon processor?
Yeah, Zeb's processing the cheese. Well, we're having people over for dinner and I have like I only bought sliced cheese. So I'm like, I have to. What am I gonna do? We don't go to the store on Sunday, so it actually looks like frozen breast milk, but it's not. It's mozzarella. It's cheese.
I grated it down to a manageable size, and Jamie put it in the food grater, and we basically got like cheese powder.
It's fine, it'll be good.
Or in the food processor. It's all right. All right, this is the back end of my cow, I know. So I'm a little nervous. I was sure she was pregnant because, you know, she hasn't gone back into heat. I'm looking at, you know, she's wide from behind. You can see poking out when she lays down and she just splays out way out there. But I was expecting this little calf to be here and right here, you know, and I feel like I've seen the calf in there kicking and doing its thing and, you know, moving around. But with a cow, that could also be gas. Their stomachs move like crazy and roll and ripple and do all kinds of things. So I'm gonna try to bump this calf here this morning, you know, just find the rib cage. It's right there, runs down that direction. I'm gonna come over here and see if we can bump and get this calf to kick back at us. Just right above the udder, because she should be bagging up. No, don't kick at me. She should be bagging up, and she's not. She's dry. All right, I know I'm pushing on your tummy. You probably are pregnant. A lot of the signs are there. You haven't come into heat. Huh? I'm over here you're trying to eat breakfast and I'm pushing on your sore tummy. All right. Sometimes you gotta push high, sometimes you gotta push low. The calf could be sleeping and not care. It's not a foolproof method. I debated having a vet come and test her, but my dad looked at her and he's like, yeah, this cow's pregnant. All right, we're gonna just watch this section here. Like, look at how much that's moving around. She's eating. She's over here getting breakfast. But look at, like, her whole body just moves the whole time she's eating like crazy. Like, what is that? What's right here? That's her breathing, her moving around. So it's like really hard to tell if there's a calf in there moving. Come on, baby calf. Sit here and wait and see if we can, oh. Is that just gas, Buttercup? I mean, she's really tight, but she's got a lot of muscle down through here too. I'm not counting out that she's not pregnant. I think she is. I didn't get a calf to bump. From my math, her due date is, I was off. I thought it was gonna be mid-September, but I think her due date is actually the 30th, you know, around there, 1st of October. So we've got a few days left. that she could bag up and just have this calf, or she might be late. It happens in animals just like it happens in people. But right now, I was probably doing it wrong. I didn't get any kickbacks from a calf. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. Like, you know, that calf could have been kicking me back and might have kicked on the other side or in the wrong place, or you know, or it could be sleeping because it's morning time. I don't know. Maybe I'll try again. I thought it'd be fun to just try it out and see, because I've not done it before. My dad suggested it. He's like, you can bump them. I'm like, oh, what's that? And so he walked me through it. But we're not counting her out. I'm like 90% that she's pregnant. I'll be really, really sad if she's not. And I've been like waiting this whole time, because we dried her up back in June, expecting her to give birth in September. So we dried her up back in June, expecting her to give birth in September. And so we've been without milk for a long time, and I could have kept milking her. Her milk was starting to get like kind of salty. It wasn't, I mean, she needed refreshed, but you know, it's one of those things. Like, we want a baby calf, but we also want milk. Otherwise, I've just been spending $100 a month to feed her, because she doesn't really have anything to graze on out here. It's high desert. Unless I water that, nothing's gonna grow out there. She's gonna keep the little weeds that grow up cut down really well. They're not gonna be enough to feed her every day. Even if I watered her, I'd still have to supplement her feed. It's only a 1/4 acre. But we'll see. Now we wait. I might try bumping her some more, and I'll let you guys know if I get any kickbacks.